What's up guys, Crispy Beats here. Today I'm going to be talking about transitions. Have you ever made a dope A section to a song and then a nice big drop, but for some reason when you go from the A section to the drop, it just sounds sudden and random? That's an issue I used to face all the time until I started experimenting with transitions. These are sounds that create some tension so that the listener begins to anticipate a change in the music. Then the drop releases that tension and gives that sense of satisfaction to the listener. So I just want to show you how to create that kind of thing on my DAW Ableton Live. But just before I go ahead and do that, please don't forget to subscribe and like. It really helps the channel out and motivates me to keep making these videos. Alright guys, so I've got this beat here that I made quickly this morning. Nothing too fancy, but it can serve as a decent example for this video. So as you can hear, it's not terrible, but that shift from the A section to the chorus type section is a bit abrupt. So the first technique I normally use to resolve this is a good old white noise riser. So first of all, let's pull up a synth to generate some white noise. And of course, you could just pull up a white noise sample from Splice or YouTube, but just for the sake of the video, I'm gonna make it all from scratch here. So I'm using Massive X for my synth. Of course, this works with virtually any synth, but you know, I'm a Massive X user. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn the wavetable all the way down so that we get no noise. And then we're going to turn the noise up. So I've got pink noise here and white noise. Now you can go in and experiment blending the wavetable with the noise to get some different character. But just for this, I'm going to use 100% white noise. All right, so now we can just record it in. Perfect. I'll go and freeze and flatten this. And now we have our white noise audio clip. So to turn this into a transition, we're just going to increase the fade in of this clip. I'll take that a little bit off maybe. Put it here and okay, pretty decent. I'm going to make this a little bit shorter maybe. Okay, that sounds pretty good, I think. I'm just going to increase the reverb here. I have reverb on a send track just to add a bit of tail after the transition. So I think that sounds good as it is. However, I'll show you an extra little thing you can go do, and that's adding a filter to change the character of a sound even more. So the Ableton stock filter is just fine. And this is already set to low pass, which is what I want because I want to slowly bring in the high end. And I'll take this down to about 1K and automate the frequency. And then I'm going to also increase the resonance here so I can pronunciate the certain frequencies. So I'll give you a quick A/B of the filter. This is without the filter. With the filter. Nice one, that sounds like a good starting point. The riser is creating some tension that then gets released. To alleviate the tension even more, what I can do is I can duplicate this, reverse it, and fade out instead of fade in. And maybe I'll just lower the volume of this one a bit. So the second technique I want to go over is where you take a sound, you put a bunch of reverb on it, then reverse it so you get the tail of the reverb in reverse, creating a riser type of sound. I personally like to do this with vocal chops, But you can do this with virtually any sound. So I've got this vocal chop from Splice.
Yeah.
And what I'm gonna do first is add reverb. So the Ableton stock reverb is perfect for this. I'm gonna increase the dry wet just to make it really drowned in the reverb, and I'm gonna increase the decay time of the reverb. The longer the decay time, the bigger audio clip you'll have to play with when we go and turn this into a transition.
Yeah.
Perfect, so now I'm gonna freeze flatten that. And Ableton's gonna give me two clips here. One is representing the vocal chop and one is representing the reverb tail. So I'm just gonna take the whole thing and consolidate it, Command J. Once I have that, I can reverse it and I have this sound. Perfect. I'm just gonna increase the reverb on that as well to add some tail at the end. And maybe even some delay on this one. Okay, and now we can go ahead and put that in our desired position. So I'll put that right there. So now I'll go ahead and show you some extra general tips and tricks you can do to further anticipate the change in the beat. And the first one is by introducing the drums early. So we can go to our drum tracks here. I have it all grouped into one drum bus. And I'm gonna take the last beat or so, copy that, and paste it in the beat before the change. I think we can maybe do 2 beats. See what that sounds like. Another thing we can do is mess around with the melody. And if we go on the melody track, a thing I like to do quite a bit is to add a lo-fi plugin that comes on just in the last 2 beats. So there's loads of lo-fi plugins out there these days. I'm just going to use Isotope Vinyl for this because it's free, so any of you guys can go out there and download it. I'll leave the link in the description. And I'm really going to overdo it here. So I'll put it to 1950s style, increase the scratch, increase the mechanical noise and the electrical noise. And then I'm going to automate it to only come on in the last 2 beats. Alright guys, so I showed you a few techniques that you can utilize in your productions to smoothen out the transitions between A sections, B sections, drops, bridges, whatever. I just want to point out that you can really dive in and get super creative with these kind of sounds. I have so much fun using different plugins and automating different effects to create diverse and bouncy transitions. So don't be scared to try out new things that you haven't done before, and let me know in the comments anything you discover along the way. For now, have a great week guys. Sending love. Peace.